Thank you, Dr. Prabhu. Well, the session is basically on standards, interoperability, and e-governance architecture. Well, I have my colleague here who would be spending more time on the standards, so I won't be spending much, but I would definitely like to spend a little on the interoperability and more on the challenges in the e-governance architecture, which is more from my direct experience that I have while being a part of the various mission work project implementations. Just to give you, like Dr. Prabhu just mentioned, that Government of India has set up an institutional mechanism to evolve and adopt standards in different areas. I'm just giving you a snapshot where it actually is giving you a picture of the institutional mechanism and the processes. Top, we have an apex body which is chaired by Secretary DIT with members from various secretaries of the departments, NASCOM, MATE, etc. They have a mandate to approve, notify, and enforce the standards across the country, which are actually evolved with the various working groups. Now, if you see, you can see the NIC and STQC are playing a very important role in the entire standardization activity. NIC has a e-governance standards division which has been set up, and there's an open technology center also set up recently in Chennai. They together are going to ensure and come up with white papers and evolve along with the working group various standards. And then we have STQC on the other side, which is actually playing an important role in the quality and security. So far, STQC has been very active in certification of the various private products and various certifications of the private organizations. They've recently come up in the e-governance arena and doing a lot in terms of certification compliance and quality assurance, which, of course, Nandamani would be sharing across with you people. I definitely want to spend just 2 minutes on this National E-Governance Service Delivery Gateway. Now you see, okay, government is coming up in a big way to bring standards across the country, and there are mechanisms which have been set up which will try and enforce these standards. But is that sufficient? Probably it's important to go one step ahead. Is there a way we can actually build standards-based middleware, which could be the heart of any e-governance architecture? And this would in any way enforce that standards-based implementations. With that objective, government has started a mission mode project we call the National E-Governance Service Delivery Gateway. It's a system in itself because you're not talking about one gateway, but a constellation of gateways. If you see, what is it actually? In fact, this is one of its kind in the world that you can see. We've seen UK, we've seen other countries, but they have just one gateway for a country. But for India, where every state is a country in itself, we realized you can't just have one gateway and you need to have a constellation. So it was challenged, what kind of a topology, what kind of a scoping can you do? So that all has evolved, in this. Now, if you see from the figure, I'm just bringing out the national level service delivery gateway. If you see, you can see that this middleware, once it sits within an e-governance application, it will allow the various departments to exchange data and information based on XML, based on standards, so between the departments and also between the front-end service access providers. In fact, this fits beautifully in any governance application today per se. You talk about any project that has to interconnect multiple departments, bring single sign-on, it has to bring a single front-end to the citizens. So there is no other way but to have this kind of a messaging and a routing switch which has the intelligence built into it. Now, this is going to promote the service-oriented architecture. In fact, NSDG is based on, the entire modules are based as services. And this is envisaged, as I just mentioned, it's a cluster that you're going to see. You're going to have not just one gateway, but multiple across the country. This is just a scenario of how it's going to be positioned in the e-governance applications. I've just given a picture where you see that CSCs and other access channels which would be coming to the front-end portals. It could be anything, whether it's a state portal, a mission mode project, a national portal, or whatever it is. But they all have to access the government services through this. They would be connecting to the gateway, which would be housed at the state data centers or at the national data center. And then at the back, you have these departments. Now, with this kind of a structure in place, even if I have standards, what this is facilitating me is the departments connect only once to the gateway. So what happens? They're secure behind the gateway, and they are in a position able to exchange information with any number of departments. It's scalable. So they are ensured of these standards based. They have the complete audit, they have the complete transaction log, which is available through the gateway to them. And it's delinking the back end and the front end. The beauty is that a department is in a position to have competition at the front. They can make their data available even tomorrow to private players who could build front-end portals and value-added services from them. And this is only possible if you are able to have this kind of a middleware in between. Yeah, in fact, we are also seeing in a lot of our mission projects, there are departments which are not fully workflow enabled, and the backend is not computerized. With this gateway, it will actually let you even have backends which have legacy applications or which don't have any workflow also to be able to deliver at least the front end through the electronically, So this feature is going to help even the backends evolve, the departments evolve the backend gradually. And it's not just messaging or a routing. The beauty is that it's actually a shared infrastructure which will have lot of value-added services interface, like the third-party authentication or the payment gateway interface. There are interfaces already built into this. So this is just a glance, and this picture is showing how the constellation is actually going to be. There's a national services directory built, which is doing the address and the service resolution between the gateway. So there's a protocol available which exchanges information between the gateway and can send a request coming from one service provider at the front to the department which is connected to some other gateway. So this was broadly on the interoperability front that government has gone one step ahead. Now my main focus would be on the challenges where I've actually spent being a part of a lot of empowered committees and directly implementing various mission projects as to what is it that we're really facing. There is a whole lot of happening initiatives, but what is it that the government today is finding it difficult and trying and struggling, that I just wanted to share. Now, NEGP that we'll be talking about, it's a centralized initiative, decentralized implementation. That's a core strategy. Because, of course, e-governance was happening for the past 3, 4, 5 years across. There have been silos happening, applications. The idea here was to have a holistic approach. So what is centralized? The centralized is core common policies, guidelines, standards, infrastructure which the government is coming up. You've heard a lot about state data centers and SWANs, etc., and the CSCs happening. But the challenge is they all have their own timelines. They're all implementing the agencies are different. How are you going to synchronize and bring them into the various mission projects? I think that's a very big challenge that we are facing, and let me see and just try and address not only these components and other components, how we are trying to address and the challenges that government is facing. This is just to give you a picture about any e-governance application, right from the access to the portal's front end, you have the middleware. Now today, within an e-governance application, you can have commercial middlewares available which could be doing it, or I talked about the gateway which is available. Gateway would become very critical when in any case one MMP has to talk to the other MMP. But within an MMP also gateway, if you build an architecture using this gateway in picture, then you have a lot of scalability and flexibility available. And at the back end, you have everything from application databases, workflow. I'm just giving the whole thing actually maps onto what architectures. The core I'm touching is only the business, technology, and the organization architecture. And in fact, I'm sure my colleague from Telelogic would be speaking on the enterprise architecture concept. I'm not bringing that here, but I'm just mapping it onto the architectural components and the challenges we are facing in each of this. Now, first and foremost, in fact, yesterday there was a question which was asked from Chandrasekharji that, okay, I mean, you're talking about a centralized, are you also trying to address some core common services, processes, forms, etc.? Let me tell you, yes, this is a challenge. Because a lot of our applications, whether it's Panchayati Raj, e-District, a lot of mission projects, government has centrally said these are the core services, 6 set of services in the e-District, which are going to be common across all the 604 districts across the country.